Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Jamaica Magazine. It's Tuesday, the 17th day in June. I'm your host, Atkinson. Coming up in the program, revisiting the plan for tourism this year. We'll have that and more, so stay with us.
In 2023, many of you told us how pleasantly surprised you were with our first Transformations Expo. Be prepared to be amazed at Transformations Expo 2.0, People, Quality and Technology, coming from 2 locations at the National Arena in Kingston and simultaneously at the Montego Bay Community College from Thursday, June 19 to Sunday, June 22. Bring your friends, bring your family. I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, June 17, 2025. Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ has collected over $18 billion in outstanding taxes under its Special Arrears Settlement Program. The 4-month amnesty, which ended on May 31, has relieved business persons of over $6 billion in interest, penalty, and surcharge IPS. The TAJ released a statement indicating that eventually over $30 billion in IPS will be removed from taxpayer accounts, lowering the stock of debt on the books of the agency. It says during the Special Arrears Settlement period, compliance officers made over 50,000 contacts to persons with outstanding balances. These resulted in over 10,000 taxpayers indicating a willingness to pay all or part of their principal taxes. The TAJ is advising taxpayers that it is carrying out further system configuration to automatically remove charges relating to General Consumption Tax, GCT, Special Consumption Tax, SCT, and PAYE, Late Payment of Income Tax. It is projected that this will be done by the end of July 2025. In addition, the agency says cases of IPS waiver involving manual removal will be administered as they are identified and processed by TAJ's compliance teams. The Special Arrears Settlement Program offered taxpayers an opportunity to clear their debts without the additional costs typically associated with the late filing and payments for several tax types. An agricultural protection branch has been established within the Jamaica Constabulary Force to strengthen the fight against Praedial larceny. It was launched on Friday by the Ministries of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining and National Security. 48 officers will be employed to the branch and operate through a network of units across the 5 area commands of the JCF, covering 19 geographic regions island-wide. Data from the police indicates that in 2024, 139 people were arrested for Praedial larceny, a 78% increase over 2023. 201 cases are now before the courts. Agriculture Minister Floyd Green has hailed the renewed fight against Praedial larceny as a major step to increase reporting of incidents and renew trust in law enforcement efforts.
It is a big deal on so many fronts. Agriculture is still our largest employer. We have 270,074 registered farmers. And I'm sure all of you know somebody who farms who is not registered. And I'm so happy that this modern JCF has recognized the critical importance of policing agriculture, of establishing a branch that treats with agricultural protection, which will ultimately protect our farmers, ultimately protect our food, and more than that, will protect our future.
Commanding Officer for the Agricultural Protection Branch, Senior Superintendent Oral Pasco, says the units will be using intelligence-led policing, drone technology, and motorbikes to boost patrols and response in hard-to-reach farming communities.
These tools help to ensure early detection, deterrence, and response to crimes in rural and agriculture communities.
The branch will operate under the JCF's Strategic Operations Portfolio to support the enforcement of laws such as the Praedial Larceny Prevention Act, Agricultural Produce Act, and the Fisheries Act. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is placing a special focus on areas of shortage through this year's take-up of the Dr. Barry Wint Memorial Scholarship. Now in its second year, applications open on June 18 to graduate and postgraduate students with an overall allocation of $500 million. In his sectoral presentation recently, Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said the aim was to fill gaps in the human resource requirements for the sector.
This tranche of advertising will look to encouraging biomedical engineers, medical physics, speech therapy, third and fourth year nursing and midwifery, occupational therapy, radiation therapy, and dental nurse therapy, and nursing educators. Mr. Speaker, we have to ensure that we give, and are ensuring that we give, more Jamaicans priority at all times.
The Dr. Barry Wint Scholarship Program forms a part of government efforts to train and retain talent for the health sector. According to Dr. Tufton, projections year on year are that by 2029, the scholarship program will see a gradual deployment of trained professionals to the health sector. These include approximately 119 nurses, 4 biomedical engineers, 12 social workers, 15 diagnostic imaging professionals, 10 midwives, 134 doctors, and 42 dentists. Still on health, the Portfolio Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, says steps are being taken to change the policy for pharmaceutical approvals to make the process faster and easier. Dr. Tufton indicates that 3 major policy shifts will take place over the next year. These will include an established protocol for collaboration with the United States, United Kingdom, and European standards in drug approvals. The Health Minister assures that members of the public will benefit from improved service delivery as the Standards and Regulation Division overhauls its operating procedures to optimize processes for increased satisfaction. He also adds that this will address manufacturers' and importers' complaints about the long delays in getting a final response to their applications for drugs.
What that means is that if a drug is approved by the US or the UK regulatory agencies or the European regulatory agencies, then it will be fast-tracked in terms of the approvals here in Jamaica. In a sense, we are relying on their interrogation of that process, and we'll establish relationships in order to do that.
Dr. Tufton says the government will also move to digitize the application process so that applicants will not have to wait for a response to determine the incomplete nature of their application, as these will be flagged in the online application while filling out forms. Meanwhile, an express window is to be established for local manufacturers who apply for approvals once they are manufacturing locally. Dr. Tufton adds that the impending policy shifts are tied to the Health Ministry's strategic goals for the modernization and improvement in customer service experience. And finally, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security has approved the resumption of operations at the Chinese-owned and operated Wholehearted Car Services Company in Ferrypen, St. Catherine. In a statement on Sunday, the ministry said it had completed its investigation into issues related to compliance with labor law at the facility.
The Ministry of Labour and Social Security welcomes foreign talent into Jamaica, but we emphasize the importance of compliance with our labor laws. We are committed to enforcing, to regulating, and to protecting the rights of Jamaican workers. And we will continue to work with the relevant agencies to ensure fair employment practices and to prevent exploitation of Jamaicans and also of any foreign workers who are working in Jamaica.
As part of the approval measures, the company must submit within 3 months of reopening a list of Jamaican workers and their contracts and wages. According to Minister Charles Jr., other conditions include the enrollment of all employees in the Heart NSTA Trust program to acquire local certification that's equivalent to their prior learning. In addition, the company should also establish an apprenticeship program in collaboration with the Jamaican German Automotive School and Heart NSTA Trust. This will allow instructors to understudy auto mechanics for skill transfer. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
I wonder who that somebody be. No, sir. Let me look for my glasses. Oh, that somebody look like right, sir.
Slutty walk on.
Me glad for see you, Roy. Although things never go on for you, America, me glad say you there.
Yeah.
Lift your head high.
Yeah.
Stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
And you can have a fresh start back home.
All right, Mr. D. Thanks, you hear?
Let's all work together for a fresh start back home.
This message is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Thank you for staying with us on Jamaica Magazine. The 2025-2026 estimates of expenditure for the tourism sector was tabled in March, and implementation is well underway. With recent unveilings like a more positive travel advisory from the US, expanded airline access from the European market, and a Jam iconic experience at Hope Gardens, we wanted to revisit what else is on the agenda as the year unfolds. Let's take a look.
2025 is the year set for the Ministry of Tourism to realize its targeted goal of 5 by 5 by 5. The ambitious goal set in 2020 is to have 5 million visitors on the island, earning the country $5 billion from their visitation, all of which culminates 5 years later this year. And with the Ministry's achievement of $4.3 billion from 4.3 million visitors in 2024, coupled with the government's allocation of $16 billion for tourism enhancement in the upcoming financial year, this goal could become a reality.
Jamaica as a country has 30% dependence on tourism. So to build capacity to enable the richness of this industry to be appreciated and to be realized by the vast majority of the people of the region is at the heart of all our considerations.
The vision of the Tourism Ministry to be the engine of sustainable economic growth, backed by its mission to create unique tourism experiences, has been the driving force behind its success over the years.
What we do here is invite people to come to Jamaica to consume these wonderful products of our people, or if you would wish to say, products of our culture. That's what we do. And we invite them to do so at a price.
Work to achieve this feat once again will see 7.7 of the $16 billion budget going to the promotion of Jamaica as a destination to help boost the sector. Of this sum, $4.5 billion will go towards ventures involving overseas marketing. $2.2 billion has been set aside for the operational costs of the Jamaica Tourist Board, which is tasked with planning and implementing marketing programs. The ministry is aiming for 1.52 million cruise arrivals in the 2025-2026 fiscal year, and $433 million is earmarked to support this. Support of Brand Jamaica through growing meetings and exhibitions at the Montego Bay Convention Center will come in the form of $279 million. And Jamaica Vacations Limited, which has responsibility for ensuring adequate airlift capacity into Jamaica through partnerships and collaboration with existing and potential carriers, will receive $260 million to execute its programs.
Tourism represents a path to empowerment, job creation, poverty alleviation, and the preservation of cultural heritage. It fosters cross-cultural exchange, promotes tolerance, and deepens our shared sense of humanity.
And with this realization, $6.9 billion has been set aside for the development of cultural and natural assets. Of this figure, significant transformational projects that create business activities through aesthetic appeal will see $1.7 billion going to its cause.
And in the 9 years since we are in government, and since I'm minister in the second round, we have put 1.6 billion Jamaican dollars into 364 communities across Jamaica with spruce-up activities.
$1.65 billion has been allocated for the development, rehabilitation, and maintenance of emerging resort areas, public beaches, road infrastructure, and squatter settlements in resort areas. A combined $970 million will address various roads. Resort town squatter settlements will get attention through a $407 million disbursement. The Tourism Enhancement Fund's Beaches Development Program is receiving $180 million, and emerging resort areas will be supported through a $100 million investment. The The Tourism Product Development Company, TPDCO, will use $1.2 billion for its day-to-day expenses, and the Tourism Enhancement Fund will spend $964 million for its operations. The ministry will also provide financial support for small and medium-sized enterprises to the tune of $503 million. To ensure monitoring standards are maintained, $257 million has been budgeted. And public bodies involved in the training and certification of workers in the industry will receive $221 million. Establishing linkages between tourism and other sectors, especially agriculture, continues to be a major focus of the government. $178 million is allocated to support the linkages network in the ministry and thereby ensure more Jamaicans benefit from tourism. Tied to that are specific efforts to increase the supply of Jamaican products, and $93 million is earmarked for this. $68 million is for activities involving the processing of licenses. To ensure all of this happens, the remaining $1.5 billion of the Ministry of Tourism's budget will see to the administrative functions central to its day-to-day operations.
These are the things that we're trying to do to ensure that we train, we fund, and we market.
The Ministry of Tourism, working to create unique tourism experiences that will transform Jamaica for the betterment of its people.
I'm Karina Powellhood. We've been planning for months, and now we're ready to share more of the essence of who we are. At the JCF Transformations People, Quality and Technology Expo 2.0, coming June 19 to 22nd at the National Arena in Kingston and at the Montego Bay Community College. Come, see, experience what you've been hearing about your transforming police force.
Let's be real, budgeting doesn't always sound exciting, but it's one of the smartest things you can do for your financial future. And the best part, it doesn't have to be complicated. Let's break it down together.
My presentation today is on getting the best bang for your budget. Budgeting, simply defined, is creating a plan to spend your money. When making your budget should include things like your needs, your wants, your savings, your investments, and your emergency fund. So typically what we're saying is that your money monthly should be going towards savings, your bills and utilities, your insurance, and your emergency fund. You also would want to ensure that when you're making your budget, you give every dollar a job and keep track of your spending. Keep a financial journal if necessary. This will help to keep you on track, and you can record and identify the things that you're actually spending your money on. So, one of the first things you'd want to do when you're creating your budget is create a financial plan, and it will help you to map out the actions that you need to take towards achieving these goals. And please ensure that you put your short-term as well as your long-term goals in your financial plan. After you've created your financial plan, then you'd want to identify all your streams of income. Your streams of income is not only your 9 to 5, and that's a mistake that a lot of us make. What about your other passive incomes? What about the earnings you make from your skills? You might be getting an inheritance. You might be getting an annuity. You might be the type of person to buy and sell things. You have to account for every single dollar you make. And likewise, if you're going to account for all your earnings, you'll also have to account for all your monthly expenses. And your monthly expenses is not only your utility bills. A lot of times we neglect to include the other things that we have to spend on. Sometimes the simple things like our personal care, your groceries, your hair care, your wants. Some of us have things that we have to do to maintain our mental health. Include those things in your budget. All things must be accounted for, so you identify where all your income is coming from and you identify all your expenses. So now, let's uncover some of those bad financial habits that are wrecking our financial future. And while it's easy to identify some of our big expenditures, sometimes it's uncovering some of those smaller, more sneakier daily expenses that will save you a lot of money in the long run. My first question to you is, are you paying your bills on time? Paying your bill late comes with penalty fees, and these fees add up. Implementing the right debt payoff strategy, you can pay off your debt quickly, end up saving more, and you end up having more money towards your other financial goals. Prioritize paying off your debts. Things that we tend to let slip through as well. Most banks have a charge that is associated with going to the ATM. Not to mention, if you decide that you're going to use another bank's ATM because it's more convenient, then you end up paying 2-3 times the amount. So you have to keep a close eye on your money, guys. You have to keep track of these fees. Cutting out unnecessary expenses will actually help you to save a lot of money each month. So let's quickly talk about some of the money habits that we need to develop. Pay yourself first. Take out money for your savings. Put it in an investment account if you have to. Have a separate bank account, but pay yourself first. Build up on your retirement fund. Increase your deductions. This will not only help you to put more money towards your retirement saving, but it also reduces your taxable income. And try to make it at least the amount that your employer will match. That's like getting free money. Who doesn't want free money, right? Save for the future. Saying things like YOLO or FOMO can make you feel like you need to spend all your money now. But there needs to be a balance. Enjoy your life now, but be sure that you're saving money for the future and working diligently towards your goals. Live below your means. If you're spending more than you earn, at some point, you're going to have to require credit to cover the rest. If you find yourself having to get credit to pay for basic things, then you need to revisit what you're doing. To grow your money and create real wealth, you need to start investing. Invest your money and help to build up and secure your financial future. You can achieve your financial goals. It's just a matter of prioritizing, sticking to your budget, and tracking your spending.
It's the highest court in the region, yet many still have questions about its role and reach. In this next feature, the president of the Caribbean Court of Justice sheds light on how the CCJ helps to deliver justice for member countries.
Established to serve as both an appellate court and an interpreter of the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, the Caribbean Court of Justice (CCJ) is at the heart of the region's justice system.
The mission of the court is to provide accessible, efficient justice for the people and states of the Caribbean.
A primary goal of the CCJ is to create a judicial system that resonates with Caribbean values and realities.
A Caribbean court, and a Caribbean court that has on it some of the best minds, judicial minds in the region, must be more effective at interpreting Caribbean law than a court that is based in London.
Still, challenges remain. Some Caribbean nations have yet to adopt the CCJ as their highest appellate court. Constitutional hurdles such as parliamentary approval and referenda are major barriers. So far, 5 Caribbean states, Barbados, Belize, Guyana, Dominica, and St. Lucia, have accepted the CCJ as their apex court.
Antigua and Barbuda and Grenada, for example, these countries, their constitutions absolutely require not just a qualified majority in the parliament, a 2/3 majority in the parliament, but they also require a 2/3 majority at a referendum. That's a very steep threshold.
Misconceptions and differing opinions about the CCJ have stalled its expansion. Some believe that judges may be influenced by local politics or are not as skilled as those in foreign courts.
If a dispute arises in the Caribbean, the people who judge that dispute should be able to understand the mores, the aspirations, the culture of the Caribbean in order to give the best possible answer to how judicial policy should be crafted in relation to that dispute, that area of law. The judges on the Caribbean Court of Justice are selected by a very rigorous process. They are independent.
I, Chantal Patrice Anonu.
October 29, 2024. Jamaica's Justice Chantal Ononiwu took her place as one of the region's top judicial minds. Her appointment symbolizes not only the CCJ's commitment to justice, but also the ongoing effort to solidify a Caribbean legal identity.
Taking the oath of office as a judge of a region's highest court is very significant to me personally and professionally. I have a long-standing commitment to regional integration and the development of CARICOM, and I really respect the role, the pivotal role that the Caribbean Court of Justice plays in advancing the rule of law and building Caribbean jurisprudence.
Justice Ononiwu brings a wealth of knowledge to the court, particularly in international trade, a cornerstone of CARICOM law. Her appointment also brings gender balance to the bench, a significant milestone in Caribbean judicial history. She is the third female judge to sit on the CCJ's bench and the second Jamaican to hold such a post.
Women see things, life, through different eyes from men, and in securing justice, it is always good to have both male and female perspectives looking at the same problem.
Beyond her duties on the bench, Justice Ononiwu is committed to legal education, believing it plays a crucial role in the court's mission.
The court has a very important role that it plays with respect to judicial and legal education across the region, and particularly when it carries out those functions, there is widespread engagement with stakeholders across the region. I could mention, for instance, the work of a number of affiliated institutions of the court, like the CCJ Academy for Law, which really does a lot of work with respect to, seeking to advance the development of legal regimes that are supportive of sustainable regional development.
As the CCJ approaches its 20th anniversary, its judges continue to champion a justice system that serves Caribbean citizens. Justice Ononiwu's arrival brings new energy and perspectives, promising a future where justice truly reflects Caribbean values.
My primary goal really is to adjudicate cases fairly, competently, impartially, and with integrity. That really is my primary goal. The decisions that I will make as a judge will impact lives, they'll impact freedoms, they'll impact rights, property.
The Caribbean Court of Justice and its judges remain dedicated to justice for all, shaping Caribbean jurisprudence for generations to come.
As we close out today's edition of Jamaica Magazine, remember, greatness is not measured by what a man or woman accomplishes, but by the opposition he or she has overcome to reach their goals. Do join us again tomorrow for another informative show. Remember to visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for more news you can use. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Reid Atkinson. Stay safe.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.